So we're going to be moving on and talking about the Cancer man, shadow side. So first and foremost, Cancer is ruled by the moon. So a Cancer man on the shadow side has probably not learned to deal with his emotions like an adult. So he's going to be happy one minute, sad the next, like a child. Cancer men on the shadow side are looking for a mother, someone to take care of them, discipline them, reward them, just like a mom would. That's a tough responsibility for a lot of women, but for some women it just comes naturally. So some women have a lot of masculine energy, so they can work with a man that has a lot of feminine energy. So that's one thing. Another shadow side could be their desire to get even if you guys break up, because they're very emotional. So if they feel rejection, they'll put all aspects of just being a good human being to the side and do whatever it takes to get even. I saw somewhere that like when the zodiac information had been studied, it was found that Cancers were the most arrested sign. So you could say perhaps Scorpio is just better at hiding it, but the fact that they get arrested the most, like, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? Like a water sign. But yes, Cancers are involved in a lot of revenge and crime that involves matters of the heart. So that's one thing to watch. Cancer males on the shadow side could also stalk you. They're the types to get a different number and start sending you a bunch of messages through fake pages, or just stalking your profile, stopping by your job, like to see if you're still going about life as normal. Cancers will definitely stalk you in one way or another. That's very Cancerian. Another shadow-sided trait is that Cancer men are all about being comfortable. So they'll slack with pretty much everything. Their career, the food that they eat, they'll just keep growing in size, honestly, because they are all about comfort, and they're not going to discomfort themselves for a greater cause. They're like, oh no, the place is fine. They'll wait until they have no spoon left. That's very Cancerian on the shadow side. They are very lazy. They can be sloppy, all those things. Yeah, just not driven to do things. That's one thing to take note of. They're the types to say, oh, it's a curse in my family, or just whatever they can do to take away responsibility from them for why their life isn't where they need it to be. They'll never take responsibility and say it's because I've been lazy or unmotivated. It's everybody else's fault, and they want you to baby them for it, you know? If you want a shadow-sided Cancer male to love you, always say, oh yeah, you're right, just be a yes man, and take care of them, treat them like a child. Yeah, then you'll be on great terms with them. But the moment you start telling them the truth, they don't like that very much. Cancer men in general are also known to hoard things. They get very attached to their belongings. So they'll have like a full basement and backyard of just junk, things they don't even need, because things make them feel good. That's very Cancer on the shadow side. They'll hoard a bunch of things, and then they can also be stingy. They want to keep theirs, but they want to spend other people's. But how do you reconcile that with the fact that on the shadow side, they're also rather gluttonous? So even though it might not be healthy food or food that requires preparation, they'll just be greedy and consume all this fast food, and then just, everything will just be in disarray, the surroundings, because you are what you eat, your lifestyle that you're living, all of that matters. So I know that seemed kind of jumbled just now, but just think about it. Someone who is spoiled rotten, acts like a child, they don't take very good care of themselves. You can paint that picture and understand what that kind of person is like. Do you know what I mean? This person will blame everybody else and not do the work. They'll always have a plan of this is what's going to happen, next year, but it never comes. They're looking for someone to take care of them, to save them. That's Cancer on the shadow side. Another negative trait is that they can be very clingy in relationships, and this might lead to like control, because their opposite sign is Capricorn, the authoritarian. So Cancers, like if you notice, Cancers can be kind of bossy or come off as bossy. They can also be obsessive when they're in love. So imagine that they'll want to be very close to their partner all the time, and they'll smother them. So on the negative, if you try to pull away from that, they won't like that very much, you pulling away from them. So it might cause them to even go into overdrive and be even more smothering and all that stuff. So yeah, that's not a good thing at all. A lot of them tend to have like a bubbly personality, Cancers. So on the shadow side, it's even more that way, lighthearted, and an inability to take things seriously to a point where it's no longer even funny. When you actually want to get them to behave seriously and like stop clowning, let's be serious. You can't even make it happen because they have a deep rooted immaturity. A lot of Cancer men on the shadow side have some sort of arrested development. Mommy's voice. So yeah. I don't want to make this video super long. Like I always say, add anything else you guys want to add in the comment section. Cancer man, shadow side.